Harbaugh now heads to the Los Angeles Chargers.
He wins everywhere. He wins, period.
Justin Herbert, he's a crown jewel.
Well, you guys better enjoy this.
Quick snap, Herbert to throw. Has a man, touchdown!
The fans loved it.
You have to love what you're seeing on tape if you're a Chargers fan, especially for the future with Justin.
Herbert on the move and throws and touchdown.
I was just trying to show off.
We're going to be known as world champions. And we're going to do it or die trying. Don't let the powder blues fool you.
Who's got it better than that?
Well, good afternoon, folks. Welcome back to the Charger Chat. I'm your co-host, Wolldog, sitting with my buddy, Kev Huggin Duggan.
Welcome.
Yes, folks. Guess what? There was a game.
There was
a game. Oh, it was a game.
Yeah.
What a game it was.
It's like Easton
It was so gamey.
It's like Easton didn't even take a break after the season. He just kept rolling right where he left off.
True to form.
Yeah.
Well, folks, just me and Kev this morning on this nice, balmy St. Louis weather. We've got plenty to talk about here, as usual. I mean, shoot, we got a game to talk about now, which is so exciting. We've got another NFL Mike Bolt of the week and a true back to regular season form.
Thick with
Ask
3
Boltfam.
C's.
Yes. So let's waste no time. Start at the top. We were very excited to see this game. Kevin sadly had to miss a concert.
Yeah, I
really
got screwed. Blink-182 canceled their St. Louis concert, and
Yeah.
it was like sad. But then it was like, oh wait, I get to watch the game live with my buddy.
Exactly.
So it worked out. Not in how I hoped.
Not how we would have
worked.
hoped or envisioned.
It would have been cool if we would have won.
Yeah,
that would have made
been
things
a lot
even
cooler
better.
if you did.
But the way we were talking about, man, it's preseason. So
Yeah.
what's interesting about the staff from what I'm seeing is that they're putting people in a position to bend them to see if they break. And I think there's a lot of players. We'll get into it a little later, obviously, but there are a few players that definitely bent to the point of breaking last game. And we went back and we watched the game last night.
Right. There's some bright spots and there's some
definitely
room
bright
for improvement.
But they're
areas.
clearly testing these guys out. To
Of
see
course.
that's what this is.
That's all this is.
You know, the big one was the Brendan Hymus. When you go back and look at that game again, he stood out. And a lot of the things you might have been mad at about Stick, like bad throws and stuff, like he was getting blown up pretty most of the game. So lot to learn from it.
Yeah.
What I did love was how good this defense the scheming was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the kind of aggressiveness that we had. Like, when was the last time we got a big stop when they had 3 plays at the goal line and we stopped them every time?
Yeah.
That is not Charger defensive football the last 3 years.
That was the only turnover we had. Turnover on downs that we stopped at the goal line.
That was great. That got me so encouraged. The exotic blitzing we're doing is so different. Like, corners are coming off.
Right. Yeah, we saw a lot of that.
They're getting off their assignment and they're blitzing. Safeties are blitzing. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
And that was with our second and third string guys. And it looked like, by all accounts, the Seahawks played most of their starters, besides their starting quarterback, the first 3 quarters, pretty much. So,
and Sam Howell, I mean, he was a starting quarterback. So, I mean, that guy.
That's an embarrassment of riches as a backup.
Wish
for
we
sure.
had something like that.
And that's something I'm sure we'll talk about as our backup QB situation.
Right. Yeah. That was the other big thing was the backup QB situation because we saw Stick and, I don't think anybody can be too surprised with how Stick's performance was, but we had 3 other QBs sitting on the bench. One of them has already been cut.
Yep.
And we had Max Duggan, which is always great.
Dude, I'm telling you,
Jim Harbaugh
when you hear
we're going to go Max Duggan.
When he said that during halftime, I was like, oh my God, he said my name.
He said my name. He said my name.
Oh God, he said my name. And Max looked good. Like was with Easton and then the other 2, it was like, it felt like the step down in stress. Like Easton looked stressed out of his mind in the pocket.
Right.
Max looked very Duggan-esque, very calm, cool, collected in the pocket. You know what I mean? You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And then Perez, where did this guy come from?
The XFL.
Just standing there. I know where he came from, but like, where did he come from? Just cool. Like, take the snap. He's been there for 4 days, just comfortably lobbing like a 30-yarder. Like, it was interesting to see the comfortability in the pocket. Especially Easton should have had all the comfortability in the world because he's been with the team for 5 years now.
Yeah, no, that is the thing. It's like the guy's been on the team for so long now. He's playing like a rookie would that just got dumped into the NFL. Yeah. He is. It doesn't show signs of growth, at least from the couch. It doesn't show signs of growth from practice and coaching.
We're coach couches for sure.
We're coach couches for like 10 seconds, and then we'll get back into being shamelessly positive. But
couch coaches. Sorry, I said it back. Coach couches.
Coach couch. Where do you want? But yeah, no, it wasn't the game that we necessarily wanted to see. We did see Dicker the kicker kick a massive.
Did we ever see that Dicker the kicker
with room to spare? We did, like you said, defense looked great. Some sacks. I mean, we saw Troy Dye coming in making sacks. Morris Brash looked like he might be making this team. Dude.
Oh yeah, well, especially with injury to Rumpf, he hurt his foot, so that's what he's been dealing with is foot stuff. So, yeah, that's sad for him.
It is, and Neiman looking still effective. I mean, there's a lot of good guys that we have now that are that solid backup players that we need. We need those guys on this team. And so to know that when everybody else is going to be out there, all the other number ones, and we've got, hey, we got to switch some guys out, that those are the guys that are going to bend, don't break, you know?
And I was encouraged with the defense just with how we gave up 16 points. And usually what happens for us is we get into that third and fourth guys that aren't making the roster and our teams start to fall apart.
Right.
We start losing. They start giving up big plays, touchdowns and stuff. But we held them in the fourth quarter to nothing.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to see kind of how, our defense they kicked a field goal, but we pretty much held them to nothing in that third and fourth.
If you can
quarter.
hold a team to just a field goal in the second half, like
that's scheming. Yeah. That's coaching.
Yeah.
That's
with backup guys. So
yeah.
And one last shout out. I want to mention this because I hardly ever go on Facebook lately, but I happened to pull it up and I saw a post from my cousin's side, or I don't even know how to say that, from my late cousin's wife. Doreen McCann, needed to shout out her because she posted a picture and I saw her daughter Abby wearing a Charger shirt, and this is the first I've ever seen of this. So I was like, what is this?
Who is this? What is this?
And apparently what would you say the son of a cousin is?
We talked about this the other night.
I don't
did
know
not
the
have
answer.
the answer
I'm sorry.
then. I do not have it now.
Brian McCann, he used to play at Austin Peay. He was a lineman, and he's coaching now. But one of his teammates that he played with at Austin Peay transferred to Appalachian State, and then Chargers picked him up as an undrafted free agent. And I'm talking about Bucky Williams.
Great first name.
And he's number 60, and he was playing center in most of that second half of the game.
Yeah.
And I was watching him, and he was doing pretty good.
I feel good about a center named Bucky.
Yeah.
That feels pretty right.
Yeah. So I'm rooting for you, Bucky, number 60. I'm hoping that listen, if Brendan Hymas is not the guy to be the backup, just look at Bucky.
Just have a look. And no reason other than I'm slightly affiliated with knowing him.
Yeah. That's listen, check the PFF grade. Maybe Bucky edged out Brendan Hymas just a hair, a bit.
May have.
But after the game, now there's practice. Go back to practice. Go back to the drawing board. And Chris Rim was saying that quarterback Luis Perez ran with the second group today. Looked comfortable. Jim Harbaugh talked to Perez a lot today. At one point, yelled at him after a rep.
It's interesting to see him come into the team. And did he just jump Max Duggan? We may be taking too much out of this. I am more fascinated than ever to see what's going to happen this preseason with these quarterbacks, because it sounds like this new regime, this new staff isn't taking any shit. And there was some serious disappointment last night when the game happened. And I'm very interested to see how this shakes out. And if Luis Perez can come on and play well, let's go. We just need good quarterback play, because the problem is we want to see which wide receiver is going to make this team.
Right.
There's guys that need
they need the reps.
They need balls that aren't soaring over their heads.
Right.
Sorry,
they need some
Stick.
catchable balls.
You're trying to get people hurt. You weren't trying, but
that Hayden Hurst one was rough.
Dude. It was the worst game I've ever seen him play, and one of the worst games I've seen.
You saw the Raiders game last year.
Yeah, and one of the worst games I've ever seen a Chargers quarterback play in a while. At least it's been a minute, but man, you need, and I think maybe that's what Perez is here to do, is to get the balls to these wide receivers so we can see what's going on.
Yeah, no, I mean, Perez is an older guy. He's been around. He's
29.
Yeah,
he's He's aged.
Yeah, he was not selected in the 2018 NFL draft, but he played with the Rams and then went to the Birmingham Iron,
Let's go.
Philadelphia Eagles, Detroit Lions, Los Angeles Wildcats, New York Guardians, New Jersey Generals, back to the Rams, back to the Vegas Vipers, Arlington Renegades. Guy's been around.
I will say, with age, I feel like he might be in his prime now.
Well,
because I'm feeling like I'm 40 now. I feel like I'm in my prime now.
Yeah, the guy's played in the XFL and the UFL.
Seasoned.
And in the XFL, he was 1, champion. 2, he was the MVP for the XFL in 23. And in the UFL, he was the passing yard leader and he was the passing touchdown leader in 24.
Yeah, he's interesting because he's very much not necessarily Greg Roman quarterback. He's not running much. He's a pocket guy.
Passer.
But that's good. That's accuracy.
Hey,
that's what he does. We had a quarterback like that for a long time and we loved him.
Yeah.
So there's a hype train. We're getting all worked up over the guys that aren't going to be playing.
Right.
But it's nice to know in these next 2 games if Justin has to step out for a short couple plays.
Mm-hmm.
You can hand the ball off, but it'd be nice to see how comfortable we can be with.
You need to have somebody that you can be confident about, because we saw other preseason games where there were other backup quarterbacks that played vastly better than what we put out there this last Saturday. So
not great.
We need somebody that they don't have to be the best. You just got to be good enough to hold the fort down.
Just don't throw it over their heads. Don't try and get them decapitated.
Yeah.
Making good decisions too. Throwing in some of the coverages he was throwing into was I can see that. And there was one time where he phantomed. There was nobody closing the pocket on him, and he just stepped up into the pocket.
Right.
He just seems panicked.
Right.
And hopefully he can figure that out. But we haven't seen a huge, insanely great game from him in 5 years in the preseason or when he had to step in. So I don't know that. So it'll be interesting.
It will be. We've still got 2 more.
Well,
I know we're rooting for him to be better, but I mean, we've got 2 more preseason games to get it figured out. And whatever the decision ends up being, in Harbaugh, I trust whatever it is that he thinks that is the best pick for that position. I got to go with it. So hopefully we see some improvement in these next 2 games. But there's some quotes here from Harbaugh in the first preseason. Said there was some good, some bad, some ugly. Now we're back attacking. Excited for the opportunity this week. Got things to work on in all areas.
Yep.
Understandably so.
I like his press conference because this was the first time we didn't have a great game, and he just no nonsense, no bullshit. He's like, I'm not answering that.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. I still don't understand why the people interviewing him are asking about injuries. He's not going to tell you.
Right.
So it's time to come up with some different questions, because asking about injuries you're not going to get shit. So let's get better.
It's still preseason for the press conference.
They got to warm up.
They got to know what they're getting into.
We got some good guys covering
Harbaugh.
this team.
Absolutely.
They just got to warm up.
And then on what he is looking for in the player evaluations, Harbaugh said, it's always 3 things. Utah, give me 3.
Yeah.
What you're doing with scheme, how you're doing it, what kind of intensity are the players playing with, and then who's doing it. I counted 4, but that's okay.
Yeah. Utah, give me 4.
Utah, give me 4. Utah, carry the 1. Which is great. I mean, obviously, those are all the things that you're looking for.
A question: would you rather them had the absolutely perfect preseason and not had anything to target and work on?
Yeah.
This is easier for the coaches to pinpoint who's going to make the team and what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So Greg Roman said that this is going to be a vanilla offense. We're not going to show them anything. He said that. We can't be surprised when they're not moving. But you hope they moved a little more.
Right. Score a touchdown, please. Just
get
1.
Us, Utah. Give me 1.
And then Harbaugh on the intensity going up a notch said it's real now. Practice, put yourself in that game mindset. Ball comes to you, catch them all. Assignments, laser-like focus like it's a ball game. That ramping up of that intensity, that urgency.
I don't think we're gliding anymore, dude.
You better not be.
Yeah, if you're gliding your way out of
you're gliding in this direction, not this direction.
Heading for a gliding landing.
Yes. And then some movement has already happened. Chargers waived, as we mentioned, Casey Bauman. Poor guy didn't even get a chance in the preseason.
He looked sad. They cut to him one time. He was like holding the jersey, like,
yeah, just sucks. Come on, give me a shot.
Yeah, well, that shows you what he did in practice.
Right.
It's a clear representation that they didn't feel comfortable out there. They brought in a guy with 4 days practice. They're like, yeah, you're get in there.
He knows how to do this.
Yeah.
Yes. And then sadly, Preseason didn't make the team either. That was the gentleman that we signed from, I think it was Scotland.
Yeah.
So sad he didn't make it, but we've also signed a couple of guys, and that includes free agent linebacker Shaquille Quarterman. The Eagles let go on Sunday, so we picked him up.
I showed you that video last night. So
he's a hard hitter.
Yeah, he'll mess you up. He hit Derrick Henry,
yeah,
destroyed Derrick Henry. So you got a thumper. We'll see. You never like when somebody's getting cut from another team and you're picking them up, but we don't know the situation of where he was and what that room was like.
Right.
So
just because somebody gets cut from a team, Bauman and Preseason might end up on other teams because that's just they fit better on that team. You don't always know what players are going to fit. You're putting a puzzle together, and sometimes other guys just fit with different schemes, different teams.
It's cool to see Ortiz making moves, though.
Absolutely.
He's like,
not afraid to do that.
We're just going to keep moving. We're going to get this going.
And then also UFL standout linebacker Frank Ginda is working out with the Los Angeles Chargers today, per league sources. Ginda was the USFL Defense Player of the Year in 23. So two linebackers that we're getting. So, I mean, we were listing all the guys that we're probably going to be making linebacker. You've got Deion Henley, Junior Colson, Perriman, Nick Neiman,
Troy Dye. So that's 5.
Yeah. I guess we just need a 6th.
Competitors welcome.
Competitors are always welcome. I'm hoping that one of these guys is somebody that is going to fit that thing, but it seems like everybody else is fitting just fine.
It feels like a special teams thing.
Could be.
That's kind of where I'm getting at. I'm not, because even Nick Neiman, you feel like he's making the team too. So that's your 6. They clearly just bringing in guys to see if they can, push the guys that are currently in the spot. I love that idea. It's like there is somebody hot on your heels that wants this just as bad as you do.
Right.
Get going.
Keep competing. Yeah. Because competitors are welcome.
I'm sure that's got to be stressful. You think you have the position, and then like for Bauman, Perez shows up. It's like, oh shit. Oh man, I didn't step it up enough. You know, like there's that guy that you introduced, but you introduce it in a good way, and then it's like, all right, cool. They're not messing around here. Like jobs are available. That is
lead by example for sure.
Yeah.
And then also Chargers signed wide receiver Isaiah Wooden, the former Southern Utah Thunderbird, undersized for his position, standing at 5'7" and weighing 176. However, he can flat out fly with the football in his hands. Wooden clocked in at a 4.35.
Yeah, he's fast and he's small, and that's crazy.
Yeah. So we've got some moving and shaking still happening, and there's going to be another preseason game this Saturday playing against the Rams. I think we are the home team for that, so that'll be interesting to see how that all goes down. But it's still preseason, guys. I'm excited. I couldn't believe how little people there were in the stands. I mean, that was Harbaugh's first game, and I was surprised to see how not full that stadium was. But you know what? It is what it is. I'm sure it's going to be a completely different story once week 1 rolls around.
Yeah.
And everybody's going to be.
And keep in mind, that's a massive stadium. So
that's true.
There was a good amount of people in there from what I saw. It wasn't like empty, but Kyle had mentioned that it was
right.
The parking lots were not full by any means.
Right.
So
he didn't have any issue getting out of the parking lot. Well, folks, you won't have any issue going over to our Patreon, patreon.com/Charger Chat. Check out all the fun, silly stuff we've got.
That's why you get paid
going
the big
on
bucks
over there, folks. I mean, we've got watch parties and stuff, and
we got something special.
We've got something big coming down the pike. I think we've mentioned it last year, and we've talked about it to the people on Patreon, but we haven't talked about it to you folks yet. We got fantasy football coming up.
We do. We got 2 leagues. They have crossover prizes. It's going to be a battle. We're playing with myself, Wool Dog Kyle, and NFL Mike. So it's gonna be exciting. And if you want to join, if you haven't been a part of our Patreon yet, but you want to come over and play fantasy football, get over there. We're gonna announce when we're gonna put the tier up available to join.
Yes, it's coming up here pretty quickly because listen, we're already in preseason, so that means football's right around the corner. But yeah, we've got some huge prizes that we're going to be giving away, and sadly, as per last year, we can't win them. So it's not like
we're
competing for bragging rights more than anything else.
Yeah, we're here for the bragging rights, and you guys that join the tier get the prizes. Do we want to? Hey, why don't we show them what we're doing?
Do we want to do that?
Yeah,
should we?
Let's.
Oh. This is what we're talking about here, folks.
Here she is.
The Charger Chat Fantasy Football 2024. We've got jerseys, signed helmets, signed footballs. And we've also got, we try to make this so that everybody gets at least a little something. So we've got t-shirts and patches that are going to go out to everybody that joins. We've got two leagues, I should say.
Two leagues.
2 leagues that are going to be going, and we're signing up 20 people.
So we got 20 openings. We're not doing those crazy 18-team leagues. We're doing 12-team leagues because I feel like you get healthy rosters.
Want some guys.
And you want to battle. You're not playing with like Bauman, you know what I mean? He's not your star.
Oh boy, I hope Bauman starts.
God, I hope he pulls it out. So yeah, if you haven't joined, come over to our Patreon. Come check it out. See what we got. It's going to be fun. And the best part is when we do our group chat. That lasts all year long. And it gets fun. Yeah. It gets spicy.
It does get spicy and fun. And it's just 4 months, $45 a month for temporary tier that we have at Patreon. But listen, this is what you're competing for. This is what you get. And you're going to have a good time hanging out with us over at patreon.com/ChargerChat. But if you don't want to go over to that, it's totally fine.
No, it's okay.
It's not weird.
No, it's not weird.
You can go to our regular website.
You just didn't like our pitch.
Yeah, listen, that's fine. It's the preseason for us too. I got to work on that. But you can go to chargerchat.com. Check out all the cool stuff we got over there. T-shirts, hoodies, and stickers. You can chat it up with other Charger Chatteteers in the members section and ask questions at Ask Boltfam. So go check out chargerchat.com. All right, folks, it's time to go on to the next segment. I love this guy. He's batting 1,000. He's killing it every time he's on. It's time for another Bolt of the Week with NFL
Mike.
Welcome to this week's edition of NFL Mike's Bolt of the Week. I'm here every other week to give you guys a deep dive into a new Charger. It could be a current Charger or Chargers legend. And if you've never met me before, hi, I'm NFL Mike. I'm an NFL and Chargers content creator that creates content 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and twice on Sundays. Past Sunday, I made 10 total short videos on the preseason game. If you guys love NFL content or Chargers content, find me on any social media platform. After the show, of course, and after you comment which Charger I should cover in the next episode of the Bolt of the Week. For this week's Bolt of the Week, I got a suggestion in person at Chargers training camp. And since we did Jim Harbaugh as the last Bolt of the Week,
my name should be Lucky. How'd you get so lucky?
I had to save it for this week's episode. The suggestion was, since the Chargers went tackle in the draft,
the Los Angeles Chargers select Joe Alt, tackle, Notre Dame.
Why not do Hall of Fame tackle and Chargers legend Ron Mix as the Bolt of the Week this week? We're going old school, and Harbaugh will probably like this episode because we're getting physical as well. March 10th, 1938, here in Los Angeles, California, Ronald Jack Mix was born. His family would stay in Boyle Heights, the same area as Los Angeles, California, where Mix would grow up. And grow up quite a bit because by high school, he was 6'5", 270 pounds. A fun fact known about Mix in his early days playing football, he always attributed a lot of his success to the weightlifting regimen that he put himself on as a young man, claiming that he had already been focusing on his athletic power versus just brute strength. It was something that offensive lineman wasn't really focusing on back in the day, so it gave him an edge. Also, Ron Mix was a genius. In high school, along with athletics, he also excelled in academics, leading to Mix catching the eye of the University of Southern California right down the road from where he lived, where he would eventually commit to and attend and play football. And as a Trojan, Ron Mix actually played both guard and tackle. And in 1959, he was named an All-American. But in his time at USC, he wasn't just one of the best offensive linemen in the entire country. He was also minoring in English. While in college, Mix was writing articles for Sports Illustrated. The teammates and coaches around him at USC ended up giving Ron Mix a nickname as the Intellectual Assassin. What a nickname. Now, how Mix went from a Trojan to a Charger, it's kind of an interesting story, because Mix left college before the AFL and NFL merger. So back at that time, there was 2 different leagues to play for. And of course, Mix was so good, he got drafted to both leagues. The Baltimore Colts, led by Johnny Unitas at the time, drafted him to join the NFL. And the Boston Patriots drafted the rights to field Ron Mix as well. While Mix was deciding which way to go and who had the best offer, the Patriots then traded Ron Mix's rights away to the Los Angeles Chargers. Another fun fact about Ron Mix, this was before the Chargers had moved from LA to San Diego originally. So he did get drafted by the Los Angeles Chargers. And the Chargers' $17,000 per year offer was too high for Ron Mix to decline at the time. Mix quickly became a cornerstone of the Chargers offensive line and one of the best offensive linemen in the NFL. He would go on to become an 8-time AFL All-Star and make the All-AFL team, which is like making the All-Pro team today, a total of 9 times in his career. And back then, the Los Angeles Chargers won championships, folks. And Mix got to have a revenge game in the AFL Championship, defeating the team that drafted him and traded him away, the Boston Patriots. But Ron Mix did a lot more for the Chargers and for the sport of football than just be an all-star player on the field. Famously, sitting out of the 1965 AFL All-Star Game. The game was set to take place in New Orleans. At the time, New Orleans was known to be a racist town. Mix was actually the first white player to take a stand. And once other players joined him in boycotting the game, they actually moved the game to Houston, and Mix ended up playing in that All-Star game. And this didn't just earn the respect of fans, but players around the league. Mix would then go and play a few twilight years, forming a legendary offensive line for the Oakland Raiders, actually, of all teams, before retiring from football and pursuing a career in law. This guy was special. He would get his doctorate's degree in law from the University of San Diego after his career ended, and his focus advocating for professional athletes' rights. In 1979, Ron Mix was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, where he is immortalized forever. Today, Ron is no longer a practicing attorney, but he is still on the board of directors of the Pro Football Retired Players Association. Something about Ron Mix tells me he'd be a Harbaugh guy. And instead of a big 74 out there at tackle, the Chargers are going to see a big 76 out there at tackle this year. And we can only hope that Joe Alt lives up to be a percentage of what Ron Mix was for the Chargers in his career. One last reminder, guys, comment which bolt we should do next week. I'm not going to training camp. I am going to the Rams-Chargers preseason game, so let's see if I get any suggestions there. But next bolt of the week should be pulled from the comment section. I typically do most votes in the comments each week. Thank you guys to the Charger Chat crew once again for having me. Bolt up and back to your originally planned programming.
Just when you think there's nothing else to learn in this world,
I feel learned.
Here comes NFL Mike with facts and stories, and I love it, dude. Like,
dude, we appreciate it for sure.
100%, man.
And go check out his page. Like,
please,
the stuff he does is fantastic.
He's always posting like really fun things to watch. Like, he just posted about like some of the new rules, like the new kickoff rule and stuff like that, and really broke down like the kick in Kansas City. It was like, why is this considered a safety and not a touchback anymore? So guys, please go check out NFL Mike. The guy is doing so much for not just this show, but for football in general.
Sure.
But absolutely go check him out and put a comment down below of who you want him to take a look at for the next Bolt of the Week. Mike, hope you have fun this Saturday. Guys, if you're going to the preseason
go
game
tell him
Saturday,
who you want him to do next week.
Week,
whatever.
Go talk to the guy.
Why am I talking like this?
It's so flustered.
I just panicked.
All right, guys. NFL Mike, thank you, buddy, for another awesome Bolt of the Week. And it's time to go into the next segment, Ask Boltfam.
Time to put your money where your mouth is.
Hi, guys. Don't jam a thumb up his butthole. That's what you do. I wet myself in excitement.
Oh, so hungry.
Your thoughts are like totally appreciated. Catch you later, dude. They love you, boy.
That's right, folks. Time for Ask Boltfam. And just to start off, just as a reminder for all of you folks, we love all the questions you give, but always make sure that you include a question. And hey, shorter is always better here at the Charger Chat. So short and sweet is always best. But let's start off at the top here with the real YL DHBC, who asks the question. Can we get a live reaction to the new anthem?
Come again?
Apparently, this is pretty special. The real YL DHBC asking if we can get a live reaction to the new anthem. I said, "There's a new anthem?"
Yeah, I didn't know that.
This.
Yeah.
So I pulled it up, and it's pretty good. Let's listen together, shall we?
Ooh, I'm excited.
You should be.
Shit.
Herbert to land, ain't you glad? That's a score again. I see you, Queen. Know the mission. That's a score again. Joe Alt, hold him off. That's a score again. Yeah, so we can pass it or run it in. Hand off to Edwards, better catch him. That's a score again. Yeah, sitting right next to Brisket Bros. So fly,
Brisket Bros.
Come and get it, George. Yeah, die hard. boat club. Tied it in my pro club. Welcome in, no scrubs. Do it like the pros does. Charging like your plug. Merry man, where you at, bruh? You can find us all in Thunder Alley. Chargers Chat Podcast. You know they gon' talk about it. Even when time's hard, I'ma die hard. Even when time's hard, I'ma. Boat up, baby. Boat up, baby. Got the whole world going crazy when we boat up, baby.
Oh, shit.
Boat up, baby. Got the whole world going crazy. Boat up, baby. Boat up, baby. Got the whole world going crazy when we boat up, baby. Boat up, baby. Got the whole world going crazy. Number 45, I call that boy TT. Quick to split the line and put your quarterback to sleep. Welcome, Coach Harbaugh. You know I gotta repeat. Welcome, Coach Harbaugh. You know it's time to repeat. Mac Bosa on the line, make the sack look easy. Derwin James hitting hard, I heard it through the TV. Cam Dicker, flea flicker, that's from anywhere. Asante, intercept, and he passes in the air. Yeah, who's got it better than us? Nobody. Who's got it better than us?
I like that.
Nobody. Who's got it better than us? Nobody. Who's got it better than us?
Oh, man.
Dude.
Get out of here with this. Charged Up, folks. Go over to Apple Music.
That was awesome.
That was just a taste
Oh my
of
god.
that. But YL, Charged Up, single. Dude, killed it.
I know what's playing at Thunder Alley.
I'm listening. This is going on my repeat list.
Oh, dude.
This is
that. I'm gonna ringtone that for sure.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Dude. Number one, that was awesome.
Dude, thank you.
Number two, thanks. I was my jaw.
I was
hit
like,
the
what?
floor.
Yeah.
Charger chat. Oh, dude.
And the brisket broads are in
And the
there.
brisket
Die Hard Bolt
broads?
Club. Dude, you went off. That was amazing.
Dude, that was so fun. That was so awesome. And we can't tell you how much
Honored.
we appreciate it. It's a huge honor.
Yeah.
Thank you again, folks. Again, YL Charged Up. You can find it on Apple Music.
Go get it.
Go get it right now.
I love it.
All right, buddy. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move on now to Ajax619, who asked the question.
Hey, guys. First, Kevin, I was bummed to hear Blink-182 canceled the show you were going to. They're my favorite band, and I know that sucks a lot of butt. I got to see them at Petco Park. Sorry, dude. Hopefully you guys enjoyed Chargers preseason football. I'm stoked the actual season is so close. My question, however, is about the allegations against Michigan and our new head coach. Harbaugh is new to us, but I think we have a good understanding of his character. They're trying to tell us the man who drove to California and lived in an RV for weeks was a complacent in a cheating scandal in the game he's devoting his life to. Harbaugh does not seem like a shortcut taking dude. Harbaugh dismissed it pretty well in the presser, but will this be a shadow hanging over his season with the Bolts? Coach Kyle, do you think it could have happened without him knowing? Anyways, family, trust, respect, burn the kingdom, cook the donkey, and bolt the up.
This is good because I actually talked to Kyle about this, so I
Did
can
you?
speak on his behalf.
Thank God.
So what Kyle said, and I completely agree with him, was that you can see how he empowers his staff.
Yes.
He's not a micromanager like these other guys. He lets his guys get up and do press conferences.
Right.
College football staffs are huge.
Mm-hmm.
And I think clearly there were some apples in there that made decisions that he maybe wasn't fully aware of.
Right.
And I don't think it's gonna have any impact whatsoever on this. And you could tell because the NFL hasn't said anything and doesn't give a shit.
Right.
So this is just something the NCAA is pissed about. And it was like, so like the one that they were really coming at him on was like, just talking to students during the pandemic year, they had extra restrictions and something happened there. So if you're going to get mad at him for talking to kids, like, and you're going to like bring his career down, like get out of here. That's silly to me.
Right. No, the guy seems like it's integrity more than anything else with Harbaugh, and he is not letting his character come into question at all. Now, I mean, that's to also say that, like, I don't know the guy. I've never been to Michigan or anything like that, so I don't want to speak on something that we don't know the full facts about. But given everything that he's done so far, like even Ajax pointed out, like, the guy drove and lived in an RV for weeks because he just loves the game so damn much.
Well,
like,
go look up Connor Stallion, the guy that did all this shit at Michigan.
Oh,
the guy was kind of crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he had like a manifesto about how he wanted to become the Michigan head coach one day, and he's doing everything in his power to make this team. You didn't know this?
No, my finger's far from the pulse about all of this.
Just search Connor Stallion.
Connor Stallion,
and then you will have an interesting read, and you might understand a little bit more about what's going on. So yeah. That's my take on it.
Interesting. And there's a documentary?
Yeah, they're working on shit. So basically, like, and also thank you for the condolences on the Blink-182 show, because I bought those tickets like almost a full year ago, and that sucked. And they're like, I love them so much. My wife and I were going to go. We've seen them like 4 times. That was like the band we like kind of came up. And my wife was in a Blink-182 music video.
Right.
She was in as a Feeling This.
I think
it's the one in the jail. She's one of the girls like with the wigs on in the jail.
Right.
So yeah, it's my wife. I love her. Joe's
so
the best.
we're all in there. Ajax 619. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to B Junior, who asked the question.
Well, preseason is here, and the best social media team still hasn't dropped a dope-ass video of a new alternate helmet for our bolts. How disappointed is everyone in our organization for not using this opportunity to usher in the Harbaugh era with a memorable uni, such as a Navy helmet or something else?
I have a sneaking suspicion this will come soon. And if you saw all the graphics at the stadium and how navy those are and how dark the energy is, I have a feeling if you're worried about it, it's probably going to happen soon. A Navy helmet with the numbers, you're going back to like, we're going back to the 90s, I think. The Harbaugh days.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the because I know there's got to be a deadline as far as like when teams can announce a new helmet. Dude, we haven't even had a uniform schedule release yet, so we don't even know.
If that comes out and there's no news on that list, then we're not getting anything.
Yeah.
But if we get news before that, we're in good shape. We'll have something cool.
Yeah. And do we want a new helmet for funsies? Of course. Is that going to change the outcome of a game?
It might.
There it is.
Sorry, I channeled my inner Kyle. I didn't go against you on that one.
But for those that saw the preseason game, there's new graphics. I think people are posting like a new intro hype video.
Oh, that looked cool.
Looked awesome. But it really seems like they are leaning hard into the darker side of like the Navy Charger uniform. Still powder blue. There's still powder blue there, but it's more of like an accent color as opposed to the main.
Yeah. And the smiley faces are gone. That's what Kyle said. He went to the game and he was like, yeah, all that, social media vibe that we had from the previous years, like that's gone. It's serious football now.
They still did it on the broadcast. Every time they had like a transition, it was like a bubbling of smiley faces came over the screen. But as far as like in the stadium, that vibe seems to be.
And being in production, I feel like that might have been a last year's graphic that they just
like, oh shit,
like, oh shit, let's just use last year's. That's the vibe I got. Wrong folder.
Yeah. But B Junior, don't fret. There's still a chance for a new helmet, but even if it doesn't happen, we got Jim Harbaugh, baby. We got Justin Herbert, baby. We got Khalil Mack, baby. Like,
Jesse Mitch, baby.
Yeah, there's a lot to be excited for this upcoming season. But thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Boltville 714, who asked the question. Finally, the Ruck has come back to the Charger chat. It's good to be back to be asking a question in front of the millions and millions of the Charger Chatteteers. But to the Rock's surprise, the Rock found nothing but whining, moaning, bitching, and complaining jabronis crying about the first preseason game. To those fans, the Rock says this: know your role and shut your mouth. But Justin is hurt. We have no wide receivers. Stick needs to go. Is that what you think? It doesn't matter what you think. The only thing that matters is that Justin Herbert is still the starting QB and Harbaugh is still the head coach. So my question is actually for the fans. Can you guys quit hitting the panic button? The Rock can promise you, guarantee you, and can assure you without a shadow of a doubt that Harbaugh will have this team ready to walk into SoFi Week 1 and lay it the smackdown all over the Raiders' candy asses. So for those fans that will continue to hit that panic button, here's what The Rock wants you to do. Grab that panic button of yours, and The Rock wants you to find your favorite bottle of lube, and The Rock wants you to shine it. You go on, shine it up real nicely. Take your time if you need to. Then The Rock Rock wants you to think about all the things that will cause you to hit the panic button. And now The Rock wants you to hit that panic button, turn it sideways, and stick it straight up your candy ass. See you week 1, bitches. If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah, brother.
Ooh, brother.
Ah, boy.
Yeah. So this was interesting. I mentioned it to you while we were watching the game. The Charger fans, I might have mentioned this before. There is a certain level of like we can't ever have anything nice, right? So like we've had a whole offseason of not having really anything to bitch about. Only really thing to bitch about has been Quentin Johnston, and I'm not bitching about that because he's at practice.
No, in fact, you bought his jersey.
I bought his jersey.
Yeah, you did the opposite.
I bought his jersey.
You bought in.
So the idea, I think it was just this was just like a flooding of negative energy that they, our fans are just used to putting out there. And like as soon as something bad happened in the first game, it was like, all right, this. It's all now. So I think there needs to be like a slow introduction to you guys back into like how normal football teams run and not losing every game.
Right.
There's no panic. If you say there's panic, I don't know what we're watching.
No, there's obvious needs for improvement, but
that's not panic.
That's not panic, folks.
Dude, it's we got to treat this a little differently. You can be that person with Anthony Lynn, with Brandon Staley, with these guys, not with Harbaugh. Like
yeah, this is a guy that has been there, knows what he's doing. This is not his first rodeo.
I saw very good things out of that preseason game.
Yeah.
I'm not concerned.
Yeah.
They are testing people right now.
Exactly.
This isn't.
They're testing people. They're not showing their full hand.
No. And they tested Easton Stick, and he did not pass.
Yeah.
So that's good for them to know, so that way they can mold the team the way that he wants it, so we can be successful if there's a backup situation required.
Exactly.
So this is a good thing.
Yeah.
So like we'll get there.
Yeah. This is like Inside Out, where you've got
with a
panic and anger are fighting over the control panel.
Yeah.
And they're going crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just sitting back there, just like hope.
Yeah. Hope is waiting off in the wings.
Just waiting. Like,
hey guys, it's going to be okay.
Guys, come on. Stop fighting.
All right. Boltville 714. Good to see you, buddy. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Brandon. And shout out to Bolt Squad, Scotty B63, and OM Run. You guys all pretty much asked the same question. I'm leaning into Brandon on this one, who asks the question. Yeah, man. I love watching everyone freak out like these preseason games are an indication of what the season is going to look like. I will say I'm losing faith in Easton. I get he's Herbert's bro and is very intelligent, but the production on the field simply looks like poo. I hope Perez and Duggan get time with the first and second string players to see what they can prove. What do you guys think? FTR Super Mighty Bolts, boobies, can't love you, bye.
Boobies. So I did my initial thing when that game started where I was like, all right, everyone's mad at Easton. I'm not going to be mad at Easton. He's going to get better. This was just one series. And then the second series, and then the third series. And then I saw him just panicking for no reason, overthrowing people.
Right. And like you mentioned, though, the center, Hymas, did not do him any favors.
It didn't do any favors, but you
got to be able to adapt to those situations.
Sure. I am slowly starting to lean into what you're saying, Brandon, where he's been in it for 5 years. You'd hope he would have had a better performance than that.
That is the difference maker. I mean, Max Duggan we got him last year, but I mean, like, he's never really had an opportunity. Easton's been given, that's the difference. Easton's been given opportunity. Max Duggan, Luis Perez have had very minimal opportunity. So if you give those guys, we want to see opportunity given to Max Duggan and Luis Perez, because you didn't see the panic. With Easton, we saw a little panic. And so if you give them that opportunity and you see panic, then you know, like, okay, it's not on Easton's stick.
But this is the problem with the Easton thing, is like, he has experience. He shouldn't be panicking and stepping up into pockets that aren't collapsing. He shouldn't, when they ever cut to him on the sideline, looking like
shouldn't be throwing hospital balls either.
Yeah, like,
you got to know better than that.
And he even said it in his presser, like, I made some bad poor choices. Like, man, this is the preseason. This is where you're supposed to shine. We saw you for 4 games last year?
Something like that.
It
4
was
or 5
like,
games.
this is what we saw. It's the same. You should you have more experience than both these two guys.
Exactly.
Well, maybe not Perez, but at the NFL level, you have a lot
when
of
it comes to
experience.
games that matter,
Yeah.
you have that experience and opportunity, and you should be better in a preseason game.
That being said, I think to a backup quarterback, there is more than performance on the field. There is like helping the team prepare, because you're playing scout quarterback.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're going to do. I think if he has another outing like that, we'll see what organization and what the staff think was going to do.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's just to sit on it and wait and see if it gets better, because you sat on it for 5 years.
Right. Because that's the thing, is they just signed him to a new contract this last, I think, March.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there is clearly some faith in the guy, but
That was before they got to practice with them, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm not trying. I do not want to. I just want to be shamelessly positive
Absolutely.
on him. I want him to do well.
We're always rooting for him to be better.
We've had a fairly good sample size now.
Yes, as fans we have. Yeah,
and you can only turn away to the sample size.
Yeah,
after so long.
Exactly. So Brandon, Bolt Squad, Scotty B63, OM Run. Thank you guys. And I think we're pretty much in agreement on that one. But let's move it on now to Tony Francis, who asked the question.
What in the actual maggots? Earlier in the week, I decided I was going to flip the script and send a nice message this week. You know, the kind of message filled with rainbows, unicorns, and pixie dust. Well, that was until I saw the Chargers preseason game and lost my fucking shit. Easton stick, more like Easton suck my butt. I know it's the first preseason game of the year and we shouldn't freak out, but goddamn, it makes that hard to do. I had my pants down all game, screaming at the TV, suck my fucking butt, maggots. My first question is directed at you, coach. Do you think Easton Stick will be the starter in the second preseason game? If you had to tell me 3 things he did well in the game, what would they be? My next question is directed at you, Kev. Our defense looks solid all game. What defensive player surprised you the most during the game? And do you think they will make the team? Also, I still haven't forgotten about the fucking shirts, dude. Opening Sunday against the Raiders is only 26 days away. Can we get a status update, cadet? And my last question is directed at you, Wool Dog. Thank you for always sending it when it comes to the angry Army voice. It's been an absolute pleasure to send you questions knowing you will hit it out of the ballpark. Sorry if you need a cough drop after each of my questions. Now to my question. Do you think Brendan Rice will make the team? If so, how many yards and TDs will he have? As always, soldiers, the Raiders, burn the kingdom, kick the donkeys, suck my butt, and let's fucking go.
It's a good one. Good.
Lubricate.
Good script, good performance. That's all you need for a good movie. And
right.
Oscars are all around.
Oscar season's around the corner.
Yeah.
And the Oscar goes to Josh Hartnett beat me out again. Damn it.
Shit, Tony Francis was my script of the
year. All right. Well, thank you, Tony. I did like the imagery of pants down screaming at the TV.
That's just so funny. Just suck my butt. That's just too
but yeah, sadly, Kyle's not here. So to answer Kyle's question on Easton Stick being the starter in the second preseason game,
I think he will. I don't think coach bails on players like that. I think would send a bad sign to the rest of the team. I think
here's my question.
I think he'll get a quarter. I don't think he'll get 2, but he will start.
So is that sending a message of bail or sending a message of you are not performing to the level we need you to perform? So we're going to let Max or Luis start. You'll still play, Easton. You're still a part of the team, but we need to figure out who is, because that's the thing is we've talked about working with second stringers, third stringers, fourth stringers, and give them an opportunity.
Well,
Easton has had the opportunity.
I think if these guys, if you can produce with the lower quality players, it says just as much as you performing with a higher offensive line.
Yeah.
So I think he will start again.
Yeah.
I think there's a tenure to this shit. You can't just, I don't think you're going to do that. It's like an immediate demotion like that. I think they're going to give him a chance this week. If he doesn't, we'll see what happens. But I think it'll be less snaps. I think they're going to give those Max and Luis a chance, more of a chance. Because if we come out and we do three, I think coach will pull him if he sucks again. But he's going to give him a chance to go out there and redeem himself. Because, that's just what, as a coaching, I would think. That's what Kyle would do for a player. Yeah. That's what my dad would do for a player.
Right.
You give him a second chance and see what happens, and then we'll go from there.
Is there three nice things you can say about Easton Stick?
I don't think I have three. I liked when Harbaugh did the pounding the shoulders on him. That's a bummer. I was the first one that he did it to.
Yeah, we did see Harbaugh smacking the pads and punching him in the chest and stuff like that, trying to get him hyped up.
He's got some good legs, good slide, good run.
Great name.
Yeah. I don't have much to praise him on after
I
that one.
don't have much,
but I know I need a backup.
All right, Kev.
Help me, please.
Defense looks solid. Was there any defensive player that surprised you?
Was it
Gerard Clark?
If you watched him in the later quarters,
He's so big.
You cannot move
Get
that
this
guy.
guy a bigger jersey, please.
You cannot. I love the belly. I love everything about that giant belly.
Yeah.
Watch him play.
Yeah.
Watch him play.
Yeah.
He cannot be moved. He was going up against like double teams and not being moved off. He sets the line of scrimmage.
Right.
So that was awesome. Then there's other ones like,
Morris Brash.
Troy Dye was awesome.
Right.
How quick he was. Like there was a one scramble, one of the quarterback got out, Howell got out, and Troy Dye, like there wasn't even a need for an angle of pursuit. He was just fast enough to catch him. So those were two that stood out. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I love holding the line of scrimmage because that will let you stop the run.
Absolutely.
And that is a big boy that, we'll see what coach thinks of him in practice, but I like seeing that.
Very good. Suck my butt shirts. Any update?
Oh, there's an update.
Oh,
we're working on it feverishly right now with our boy Jeremy Searcy. Sent us the first sketch of it.
Yeah.
And we're working back and forth, but I think
we're finding a good design for you, Tony.
For the 10 of you that are lucky enough to get one of them, because there's only going to be a run of 10.
Yeah.
If you find us at the tailgate, we'll have the shirts on us. And if you say "suck my butt" to us, or Super Mighty Bolts,
maybe.
If you say Super Mighty Bolts, or like really look in Adam's eyes with everything you have and say,
don't look in my eyes. Look whoever's got the shirts.
My butt. And then you'll get one if we have one left. But we're going through a lot of work with Jeremy to create this design for like 10 t-shirts.
Yeah.
So
especially Tony.
Oh God. Tony, you better find us, dude. I'll send you I'll share my location on my phone so you know where I am at the tailgate. You just hit me up.
And then Brendan Rice making the team, absolutely. I mean, based off of just the practice and everything like that, I see him making the team. You can't put the preseason, at the very least, like Luis Perez at the end was trying to get the ball.
He was giving him opportunities. He wasn't just checking down to Stone Smart, which is what Easton Stick did the whole time.
Right. So I think he makes the team. As far as yards and TDs, I'm going to say 400 yards and 4 TDs.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel like that's right. He'll be a deeper on the bench.
Yeah. He'll be there to mix it up essentially, because I think, you've got Palmer, Johnson, Chark, McConkey, like all those guys. I think they're going to get covered the most. And I think Brendan Rice is going to come in and just get opportunities with a less experienced cover on him and just be able to make things happen.
When in coach's presser, he basically said like he wants to see, the more clutch stuff during games. That's what he said about the whole team. So, there were a couple of balls thrown his way, very difficult catches, but it sounded like coach wants him to make those.
Sure.
So I think with what he offers the team is the hands reliability.
Right.
Like that's what he offers us. Like it feels more like a clutch situation wide receiver. So hopefully he can pull some of those out and do some of those during these next 2 preseason games.
Absolutely. So there you go. Tony Francis, buddy. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Big Red Bolts fan, who asked the question.
The sky is falling, says the little chicken. Here comes the wolf the boy keeps predicting. But a huff and a puff does not blow the brick in. It's still just preseason 1.0. And yes, the offense was offensive, bro, without our savior who sat out with a toe. But please don't panic over such a skewed sample. The positivity should still be quite ample. The Raiders' butts we shall still totally trample. Here's my question for the three of yous. Did Duggan's performance give you the blues? And how soon until Harbaugh's back in shoes? K love you bye and upper deck the Raiders with chunky poos.
Duggan's performance give us the blues? No. If anything, gave me...
He was a step up from what Easton did for sure. He at least had some confidence, made some good throws, couple good runs. But it's hard to like jump out there and start going right away. And he got limited time. He didn't get a full 2 quarters.
Right.
So for me, I'm going to rank him. I think when you look at Perez, he had a great throw, but I think the way Duggan moved and what he threw, and his name's dope. It's Duggan, Perez, Stick in terms of the performance the other night.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for me.
Yeah. I could agree with that. I mean, the thing with Perez is Perez has that experience. You know, he's got that. He's been around a bunch of other teams, and I think he at least has the experience and the know-how and the knowledge of being a solid backup. And I think Duggan could be that too, but he just doesn't have the same amount of experience. So but I'm totally in agreement with as far as that tier list of Duggan, Perez, and Stick.
It's just the mighty have fallen with Stick for me at least.
Yeah, I want to see more of Duggan and Perez. And I'm sure all the other fans do as well, just so that we as fans could have like some confidence in the guys as well, as opposed to just the coaching staff. So we'll see what the next preseason game gives us. Big Red Bulls fans,
and amazing script by the way,
as always. Thank you, buddy, for asking the question. Let's move on now to Daryl 21, who asked the question.
Hey guys, it's Saturday night post game, and are we pumped or what? Okay, I know I'm being a smartass. Hoo-ha. First things first, a lot of the Boltfam are gonna call for Easton's head, but looking at it after the fact, yes, he didn't play well. Nor did Duggan. Shit, even my little Max could have played better if he was even awake during the snooze fest. Little dude was passed out the whole game like he's had a pound of catnip. Hoo-ha. The one thing that jumped out at me, and this leads to my question, was this offensive poop show a reflection of the O-line play? Slater and Alt looked fine, but for the most part, the entire O-line looked out of sync and beaten worse than a redheaded stepchild. Your thoughts, guys? See you Tuesday. K love you. Bye. Hoo-ha.
I didn't think Duggan looked that bad.
I don't either.
He didn't get that many series, and he got a bad sack, but that was offensive line related. Brendan Hymas didn't help anybody really in that game.
But you know who did? Bucky Williams, number 60.
Yeah, Brendan Hymas, he was just getting pushed back a lot. He missed assignments. He got Olayed a couple times.
Yeah,
so you can't put it. It's a team sport. You can't put it all on one guy.
Absolutely.
So I wouldn't say that it's all one or the other. But in terms of having the same offensive line, pretty much, I thought Duggan and Perez did better than Stick.
Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah. Hopefully that's it. I mean, we're talking about backup quarterbacks stepping up next preseason game. Hopefully the O-line steps up next preseason game as well.
Sure. So. And we're going to probably see less starters as we go. So they're going to be testing these guys out, see who's going to make the roster. So don't be surprised by mistakes and stuff, because these guys aren't all starting level caliber talent.
Right.
So, we'll see how good the coaching is and what they do.
Absolutely. There you go. Daryl 21. Thank you, buddy, for asking the question. Moving on now to Mr. Pekar. Who asked the question? Guess who's back? Back again. Boats are back. Tell your friends. Good old preseason where the men are separated from the boys, the good from the not so good, the strong from the weak, and more importantly, the winners from the losers. In our first preseason game, as you all saw, Stick had it rough. It was more the showing of a man named Twig. But to be fair, these receivers had more drops than, dare I say it, Quentin Johnston. But why is no one speaking about this? First team starting wide receivers and tight ends dropping more than catchable balls. I get it, it's preseason and Easton Stick was throwing them. But why is no one talking about the dropped balls that our starters were having? And to boot, multiple were in third down situations? Am I off base?
But back to positivity anyways. How about our big, beautiful D? Tully looked beautiful in body DP as a master of a man. Our secondary looked good as well. I'm excited as to where our team is going. Also, much love to the flashes of the nearly 30-year-old Luis Perez. Now to my question. I have two. Number one, if drops are such a hot-button topic with QJ, why is it not a hot-button topic with the other ball catchers of the team? And two, would you please wish my beautiful daughter Emma a happy birthday? She's got my back till I die, Charger fan by my side. So thick and thin, Chargers baby, force F in. BTFU, Super Mighty Bolts FTRK, I love you, bye.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Emma.
Happy birthday to you.
That's awesome.
I feel like we've hung out with Emma on one of the Special 10 hangouts.
Sure.
I'm sure we've seen her.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But
Emma's made an appearance. But happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Absolutely.
We're August babies. I'm also an August baby.
Hey.
Leos, let's go. Rawr.
Look at that.
You know? Rawr.
Rawr, you feel me?
Feel me? Rawr. So here's the thing with the drop situation. And I want to come to whenever there's an opportunity to like make Quentin look better, I want to do it. But in this situation, I'm glad I went back and watched the game again because most of the drops were either contested catches where there was tight coverage,
right,
or it was a bad pass.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a dime in the breadbasket that was dropped.
Yeah,
that Quentin's
hit him
had,
in the hands.
that Quentin's had in the past. So the drops weren't an issue for me on second watch. The first watch, my first inclination was like, man, these guys can't catch anything. Second look, it was very tight contested coverage. The first one was DJ Chark when he's like diving.
Right.
You know,
that's a rough ball to catch.
It's hard to catch it. And then the rest of them, Stick's either throwing above,
right,
or he's not putting it where it needs to be.
Right.
So I think the drops go down with better in play.
Yeah, a little more accurate. Tosses.
So I'm not worried about that as much.
And that might be the reason why nobody else is talking about it, Mr. Pekar, or at least putting as much emphasis on it.
But I love the idea of trying to give QJ a break.
Yes,
I'm all for it. Back off him. Let him have a chance.
Leave him alone.
Yeah.
Mr. Pekar, thank you, buddy, for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Andrew Ramsey.
Andrew,
who asked the question. I saw Ladd on the sideline most of the night next to Herbert. Do you think a bromance is brewing there? Do you see how good my man looked matching Justin with his gray shirt? Outside of that Dicker field goal, that was the most exciting part of the night. What do you guys think about that? I know everyone not playing was wearing the same thing. I also know he was in uniform and then downgraded to shorts just before the game. Seems the only balls he wants going into his hands during the gameplay or at practice is Justin's. That's what a winner does, Andrew Ladd McConkey. Can't love you back.
Ladd's an exciting wrinkle that we're not getting to see yet. I'm beyond excited.
We were really excited because, I mean, even social media, they like take pictures of the jerseys and the pads and the locker room, and you saw McConkey and you're like, oh yeah,
it's on.
And womp womp, didn't happen.
Yeah. But yeah, maybe he's just, he's very particular. He goes to the fine restaurants. He doesn't want trashy balls. He wants the finest Michelin star balls.
Yeah. Can you imagine if that pass that Hayden Hurst had to catch was McConkey? And
I am not. I'm setting out any starter wide receiver when Easton's in right now because he almost got him his hip broken.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good point. Let's chill him out.
That's all right. And yeah. I love that Andrew's trying to create a bromance between Herbert and McConkey, but they were chatting on the side. You can't ignore that. They were talking.
As a wide receiver, you want to be in the quarterback's hip pocket. So
absolutely.
You want to be best friends.
That's right.
And then the guys that were out, it's like that a cheating dynamic where like the guys are out on the field playing and he's sitting there getting even closer to the quarterback and Simi's
he just kind of floats into
Simi's like, you son of a bitch. Yeah. He's just on the sideline like waving at Simi. I'm becoming best friends now. Exactly.
All right. There you go, Andrew Ramsey. Thank you, buddy, for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Javier Rodriguez, who asked the question.
Hi, guys. Watched the game Saturday. It was 5 out of 10, I'd say. Offense needs work. Defense looks good, but JT Woods looks the same. Keeps missing tackles. Do you think he makes the final 53? If so, do you think he can get better at tackling in year 3?
He didn't really stand out in that game. He had one good pass breakup.
Yeah.
But yeah, you drafted him as a developmental thing. That's what they all said because he's got the thing. But then you see Finley, what he's doing. Finley can hit and can tackle.
Right.
And can play the same kind of coverage. So, it's a very big question mark if he stays on the roster.
Absolutely.
Or if he's a practice
squad
guy.
I'm curious what the secondary ends up being as far as guys making the team.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely a name to keep an eye on for these next couple preseason games there, Javier. Thank you, buddy, for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Chilipino.
Yes.
Who asked the question?
How about that defense, baby? Is Tremont Morris-Brash a lock to make the team at this point? What other undrafted free agents have made a strong case for themselves?
I think with that injury we talked about earlier to Rumpf.
Yeah, Morris Brash could absolutely make a.
We got to have one
case.
Undrafted guy that for the Chargers. That's what we do.
At least one, but I could see more.
So if he can keep playing the way he's playing, there's an opportunity. So that's what the football, man. It's like opportunity arises where a guy steps down, you step up.
Yeah.
So he clearly is stepping up into that fifth rusher.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see if he can do it. I'd love that.
Yeah.
He's quick. He's strong.
Yeah.
He can get to the quarterback.
Yeah. Gerard Clark.
Gerard Clark's the guy for
Could
me.
be that. I mean, because you look at starting defensive linemen, you got Matlock, Abonia, Morgan Fox, Puna Ford.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a pretty crowded room as well. So I mean, it's tough to get in, but he's certainly making that case.
In terms of like a one tech where you're right over the center and the guard, like he's different. Him and Puna are the closest in terms of just size and just power, because Puna would look great too.
Right.
So, but having that, and he was a standout in one of the Carolinas. What was it? I can't remember what school he was at. It was a smaller school, but he's a big boy, and you can tell. You don't need to know the number when you see him. Just look for the belly.
Look for the belly.
Yeah, and you know that belly ain't getting moved anywhere.
Right. So yeah, we'll see if there are any other undrafted free agents that make a case. I mean, there's still 2 more preseason games to go, but Chill Pino, thank you, buddy, for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Gavin Gibson.
Oh, Gavin.
Who asked the question?
Preseason is good because we have football back, but it's just not the same without our big starters out there. What are the main takeaways you have from the first preseason game? Positive and negative. Can't wait for the season to start up again. Can't wait for week 1 for all the Bolt fam shouting, family, trust, respect, and super mighty bolts. As always, bolt up, K, love you, boy.
Welcome back, Evan. How's the 5-6 kids you got going on?
They might still be cooking.
Yeah, I think they're still cooking.
The twins are still cooking.
Yeah, they're coming.
But main takeaways from the first preseason game, positive and negative.
Positive was defensive scheme.
Yeah.
And the creativeness we had, and I just liked how we played. And I look forward to Kyle's next coach's corner, where he breaks down the differences between what we did last year and what we're doing this year. Feels different. Held them to 16. Like we always said, if you hold them under 28 points, Justin has a completely different record.
Right.
So it's off to a great start there. So I think that's the big takeaway. The big negative is the backup quarterback position right now, because you can't really analyze the other positions. You really analyze the other positions without good quarterback play.
Absolutely.
You can evaluate the linemen and the running backs. That's about it.
Right.
Wide receivers, tight ends, you can't really tell what that is if you have, poor play.
Exactly. I concur with that, Mr. Huggins. So there you go, Gavin Gibson. Thank you, buddy, for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Ivan, who asked the question.
Favorite Star Wars Jedi Sith droid?
Off-season question. I like when those
Love
trickle
these.
in.
They're my favorite.
Yeah.
Star Wars Jedi, Sith, or droid?
One for each?
Just a favorite. I think those are the categories he's given.
I'm going. Is he saying favorite? He's saying one of each.
I mean, if that's what you want to do.
Oh, I'm ready to do it.
Then do it.
I'm going Luke Skywalker Jedi.
Okay.
I'm going Darth Vader Sith.
Okay.
I'm an OG. And
That's
then
fine.
C-3PO.
Okay.
You're welcome. Take a 78 to 83. That's when I do my work with Star Wars.
I'll dig a little deeper on that one.
I'm scratch the surface of that.
Yes. I will say Jedi.
Mace.
Huh?
Mace Windu.
Dude. Yes, absolutely. Mace Windu. Sith, I would say Darth Maul. I feel like he could have had more movies, and he kind of has, but
well, when you're facing two Jedis, like it's not a fair, like
he came out to be such a badass, and then to only have it be for one movie was like, oh
yeah,
I want more.
Yeah.
Droid, I will say BB-8.
BB-8's cute as shit.
Yeah. Love me some BB-8.
I like the butler vibes of C-3PO though. Like.
Of course you do. The highfalutin son of a bitch. All right, there you go. Ivan, thank you, buddy, for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Isaac Burbank, who asked the question.
Hello again, my fellow Bolty brothers. Let's have a little bit of fun. I love me a good blowout game, at least when we're not losing by 30-plus points by a team that can suck my butt. What do y'all think the final score of the Panthers game will be this season? Will Harbaugh run up the score, or will he show a little mercy? I have full confidence we're annihilating them 63-21, or maybe 63-0, because who knows? K, love you, bye.
I like the confidence.
I love the confidence.
I mean, that would be a fun game to be to. Is he asking our predictions?
Yeah, final score of the game, or will Harbaugh run up the score? I guess do you see that happen?
I think he'll run the ball, so I don't think that score is getting that high.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're looking at like a 27 to.
He'll run the clock up.
20. The clocks. There's not gonna be enough time to throw 63 points worth of shit.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be like 27-6.
All right, still a big blowout.
Oh yeah, well yeah, dominant, but
That's
it's not
double-digit.
It's not going to be
yeah.
monster. They're going to be running the ball, and that just chunks the time off the clock.
Yeah, I mean, Panthers are certainly the one team that looks to be on the lowest on the talent totem pole that we'll be facing this season. So I get the idea of 63-21, and I mean it's early enough in the regular season that everybody should be healthy as shit and just ready to kick ass. So,
totally.
Yeah, I could see it getting up there, especially if that's that, like, let's let the world know who we are type game.
I hope this happens to the freaking Raiders.
Yeah, dude, if this happens to the Raiders, if we can flip the script in that much of a way,
God.
That would be amazing.
Be sweet.
That would be just the sweetest victory ever. But we'll see. Isaac Burbank, I think we're with you as far as annihilating other players or other teams rather, but thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to April Weil,
Certified Fresh,
who asked the question. I'm so excited. After moving to North Carolina 8 years ago, I finally get to go to a Chargers game. However, my husband is insisting on going. Why is this a problem, you ask? Well, he's a Bronco fan. He said he is going to wear Bronco stuff. I said, no way. So I want him to get a shirt that says something funny about being forced to wear Chargers gear at a Bronco fan. I would rather make him wear one that says, I'm a Bronco fan and I suck butt. Anyway, do you have any suggestions?
This feels like we might need to set aside one of these special shirts for week one. You could wear the suck my butt shirt.
Maybe
that might be the move. Yeah.
I would find the worst Bronco in history and make him wear that jersey.
Yeah. Who do we have? I'm not as versed.
Yeah, I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know who that person is.
You just want a bad Bronco.
Just pick a bad Bronco. Just pick an absolute embarrassing jersey.
Or just make him wear like a shirt that has like a unicorn, like the lamest of all the horses.
Oh, there you go.
Like make him wear something really, really non-threatening horsey, like a equestrian shirt of something really not hard at all.
Little Sebastian from Parks and Rec.
Little Sebastian shirt. Yeah. If he wants to represent his horsies, he can.
Yeah.
But he's got to do it in soft style.
Exactly.
Or suck my butt.
Well, that's awesome, April. Thank you for asking the question. And hey, I think you're talking about the Carolina Panthers game.
I think I could hand deliver you a suck my butt shirt.
We might be able to make
because
that
I'll
happen.
be there.
Yeah.
Come meet us. Hit us up. We'd love to meet you, and we can deal with your husband.
We can give
for
your
a couple
husband something
hours.
to wear.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he's a nice guy, and he can be persuaded to make better decisions in life.
Right. We can't control that.
You can lead the horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Right.
You know what I
can
mean?
lead a Bronco to a Charger game, but you can't make him root for the Chargers.
A lot of horse analogies.
Yes. But thank you so much for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Swim Shady, who asked the question. Okay, I know it's been one game, but how are you feeling after the new staff, and how confident are you that we make the playoffs first year realistically?
I have no thoughts because it's the first preseason game. I like where the staff is going. It's better than last year. Our defense played better.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the preseason with backups and third and fourth stringers.
It's like, I'm trying to think of like an analogy because like you said, Gray Roman said that we're going to play vanilla and we're not showing everything.
Yeah.
So it's hard to gauge on like, oh man, this team's going to kill it after one preseason game of a limited sample size.
They are doing this for themselves.
Right.
They are putting these guys in positions where there's not a lot of like
for us.
These linemen, for instance, there's not a lot of running back help for pass protection.
Right.
They're on an island. How are you going to do? Can we count on you?
Right.
That's the vibe I get from what they're challenging right now.
Yeah.
And that's good. It's going to look bad, but it's good because they're going to know who
it's going to look
be reliable.
Rough. Like there's going to be some shining spots. Like you're going to see some players step up to that challenge.
Yeah.
And is it going to work for everybody? No. So it doesn't feel like a complete game, but we already know the gems that we have on this team, and that's why we didn't dress some of those guys up.
They don't need to play.
They don't need to play.
But the staff is new to these guys.
Right.
And they're putting them through the ringer the way maybe the other staff didn't, and they want to figure out if they're going to be relied on.
Absolutely.
And I think you can see the first game who maybe you can't rely on just yet. Let's give them a second chance.
Right.
If you can't rely on again, you can't rely on them.
Yeah.
And that's what Coach Harbaugh said. He's like, we want the best players to be playing the best football and be on the team. And there was, we'll find that's what they're doing right now.
Right.
The scores don't count.
Right. This is still auditions, essentially.
This is a televised audition.
Yeah.
So it's not a representation of what this team is going to be. But we also did some great things.
Absolutely.
So you got to be a little more lean towards the shamelessly positive for the preseason.
Right.
That would be my recommendation.
There you go. Swim Shady, buddy. Thank you for asking the question. And we go out of Ask Boltfam with Athir Kadir.
Athir.
Kadir. Oh, ask a question.
Judge and chat, my babies! I love you all equally, baby. First, I want to address this. People need to stop about the concern on Greg Roman hire, and we will not throw the ball. That is silly to say that, baby. Remember who is in charge is Coach Harbaugh, baby. He will have lots to say on offense. I promise. And he knows he has Herbert as QB as well, baby. He knows what to do. Second, people are also sleeping on Palmer and Ladd and QJ, baby. I promise this passing game will be lethal, baby. This season, especially if we run like we're supposed to, baby. Your thoughts on these things, please. Now to my question. What is the ranking for Chargers defense and offense as a unit in the NFL for us to win AFC West title and get a playoff home game? 12-13 wins, baby. I'll go first and say, take the pressure from my coach. I'll stay top 6 in both, baby. We start with Coach Kyle and followed by Brisket Broad Babe Kevin, LOL. And my last, my love, my heart, my life, Bulldog, my baby. Bold prediction, Palmer and Ladd will be top 5 wide receiver in yards and touchdown this season, baby. Will lead to Herbert winning his first MVP award, baby. Let's go.
My love.
My life.
I love you, Theo. You're so awesome.
I can't wait to see you, buddy.
Yeah, that's
gonna this week one cannot get here soon enough.
Yeah.
Yes, as far as people need to stop the concern, of course, but I think we've been talking about it this whole episode.
Yeah.
And yeah, you got Herbert, baby. That's what more could you ask for? Sleeping on Palmer, Ladd, and QJ. Yeah, dude. I mean, people that say that we don't have receivers, we do. We absolutely do. And you're going to see them week 1.
Yeah.
And the question as far as where offense and defense needs to rank for us to get 12 to 13 wins.
I got a tiered answer.
Okay.
So I think it's top 10 in both.
Okay.
But we have a top 3 when we're playing our AFC West opponents. Like we come out to play their best.
You need to have like that kind of a performance.
If we can sweep the AFC West, that essentially gives you the AFC West.
Oh, of course.
Essentially.
Yeah.
So if we can play our best games against the AFC West, we can be a top 10 offense defense.
Yeah.
I think that will be extremely difficult to compete with.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to be anyways. It's just going to be exciting what we end up being.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's, I mean, you got to think of it as the Chiefs are the benchmark. That's what you got to get over.
Yeah.
So I mean, they've been Super Bowl champs, like it or not. They've been Super Bowl champs the last 2 years. So you got to be able to beat that. And so, yeah, I mean, if you could be, dude, if you could be top 6 in offense and defense, that's crazy.
You're gonna be a fantastic team.
That's also a very well balanced team to be.
Yeah, I'd love that. I think you guarantee 100% if you're top 6 in both of those.
Yeah,
and then if your special teams is good, because as we saw, special teams is going to have a huge impact on football this year.
Absolutely.
And we're seeing it with, we started on the 40-yard line after a shitty kick.
Right.
You're seeing returns. Our first return was to the 40-yard line.
Right. Yeah.
This is different.
It's absolutely
I
different.
love it. There's no touchbacks, but this changes the dynamic.
Absolutely.
You need to have a very good special teams to not give up field position. Field position is always so important, and special teams, without a good special teams, you will feel it this year if you're not good.
Yeah. And I think the defense could and should be higher ranked than the offense. So just to say something different, Athir, I'll say defense should be top 4.
Okay.
Ranked 4, and offense could be lower, but I don't think that will end up being the case. I think the offense is going to stay right there where they should be, especially if you got Herbert Manning as the captain. Yeah. So there you go. Athir Kadir, thank you, buddy, for asking the question. Thank you, everybody, for asking questions and Ask Boltfam. We greatly appreciate it. We'll see you guys on the next episode, but until then,
okay, love you, bye.
Okay, love you, bye.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Do you have a televised audition coming up? Do you need to make sure you're ready to give it your all when the pressure's on? Then you need to sign up for SmackDown Motivators. Our elite coaches have what it takes to get you hyped. Just listen to Dr. Randy Savage.
Ooh, yeah. Dig deep. Find that inner champion within you, because greatness is just a heartbeat away. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Snap into action, brother. Success is just a choice away, so make it count every single day. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Every setback is the beginning of a comeback. Oh.
So join SmackDown Motivators today and be ready for your televised audition.